Hi guys, this is Hamilcar bringing you a commentary of the first set of the Pro League match between Team eStro and Team Lecaf Oz. And in this set, eStro is sending out Ryan Shield, aka Songho, aka Songho Shield, and Lecaf is sending out ForGG. So this should be a good game. I'm just doing this game at the moment. I'll probably wrap up the rest of the set in a couple of days. But I'm doing this in part just to let you know not to expect too much from me in the next few days. I'm going to be out of town in Millard, Nebraska, coaching high school debaters, which is what I do when I'm not commentating StarCraft or in school, so i.e. most of the time. At any rate, don't expect the rest of the set from me too soon. I actually barely have time to do this game. But I think this will be a good game, so I'd like to give you guys the chance to see it commentated as soon as possible. And there's some other good games coming up in the set, including Jaedong playing for Lecaf Oz, obviously against, I think it might be Washin, but I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure if that's one of the matchups, but at any rate, there's some good matches coming up. Lecaf Oz is the top team in Pro League right now, at 13-5 overall, I think. And eStro is one of the bottom teams in Pro League at 8-11, if I'm not mistaken. And Lecaf Oz has been just running through the rest of the Pro League, rampaging unstopped. eStro has been running the gauntlet this past week. I just cast a match between them and Samsung Khan, which is the number 2 team in Pro League, just behind Lecaf. Expectedly, Samsung Khan took that match 3-1, so we'll see if eStro can do any better this time, and take this match from Lecaf. Lecaf has a number of great players, most prominently ForGG and Jaedong, but they have a good solid lineup after that. And ForGG, definitely the favorite to take this match. She's the Terran spawning over at the 10:30 or so position. And Songho, I'm going to call him Songho, I think, because that's a cooler name than Ryan, is the Protoss spawning at the 2 o'clock. ForGG is a very good player. Won a Star League 2 seasons ago, I think, in very spectacular fashion. He wasn't very well known, wasn't very highly thought of, and then all of a sudden he was in semifinals and just destroyed Flash in a very one-sided series. And everyone thought Flash was just off and not playing well, and ForGG sort of got lucky. And then ForGG played Jaedong, and ForGG also annihilated Jaedong 3-0. So ForGG is for real. He hasn't been performing quite up to that level lately, but he is a career 58%. His PBT is actually his worst matchup. He's only 52% or so. Songho is a career 40%, and versus Terran is his worst matchup at 35%. Actually, I was giving ForGG's versus Terran stats. I'm not sure why. He's pretty good at versus Protoss. His best match is PvZ, but versus Protoss he's about 56%. So ForGG a clear favorite here, at any rate. And it looks like he has gotten the scout in just now, so he's going to see this build that's going down for Songho, and a very standard build so far, Gateway and Assimilator. Meanwhile, Songho is also scouting in the right direction, so he'll see what ForGG is doing. ForGG going for the wall in, and that's equally standard on this map. Quick expansion, mineral only in the back, going down for Songho, and that's also become relatively standard. Protoss doesn't need quite as much gas as Terran or Zerg, so it does make sense to go for that mineral-only expansion. It only has, I think, something like 6 mineral patches, so it's not hugely productive, but at the same time it's relatively easy to defend. It has been scouted out, so if ForGG wanted to go for a 2-fact push, he probably could at this time. I'm not sure if he has the 3 SCBs on gas, we'll probably see in a second, but Songho should have time to get some forces out. Oh, and ForGG is going for a starport. So ForGG is either going to try for some early Wraith Harass or just go for an early drop in the back. I think drop is more probable. Wraith Harass really isn't very effective against Protoss because one cannon will, at a given base, will deal with it very effectively. And Protoss need to get the Forge up anyway for upgrades. So, second gateway going down for Songho. He's going to try to get some forces out. He hasn't scouted this starport yet, obviously, because of the wall-in. So, he's not going to know to expect drop. I think that it'll probably be a vulture drop in the back and try to pick off some SCVs at that mineral only. Dragoon is out and it's going to ward away the scout, and you can see Dragoon range is going down now at the cybernetics core. SCV does get picked off, and meanwhile Citadel Vadun going down for Songho, so he might try for a DT rush. We'll see if he... Yeah, robotics facility, they're going down, so it's going to be a DT drop. So both players going drop tech very quickly. And there is the control tower, so it is drop tech for GG. And a vulture coming out, something just finished researching at the machine shop and something else is starting. Looks like what just finished is siege tech, so for GG is going to try to hold his front while he gets this drop going. And what's researching now has to be mines, I think, and speed will come shortly thereafter. We'll see how quickly ForGG can get his expansion down, because if he can't do that relatively soon, he's going to fall behind economically, even if he does succeed in this harass. Vulture drop can only do so much because it's eventually going to get mopped up by Dragoons. So, ForGG does have to think about the long term and think about his economy. He is going to load up a tank into that dropship, so he's going to try for a slightly more heavy harass. Meanwhile, Songho is going to go for his third base. He's got a probe there about to pick up that Nexus. So we'll see whether he has the forces on the ground to fend off this harassment effectively. I don't know if he has anything other than those the Dragoon and 2 Zealots, but also his Templar archives is going up in the back, and it's going to be spotted. So, brilliant drop by ForGG. Great timing. I don't know if he anticipated that that Songho's forces would be where they are, but Songho all out of position, his tech being spotted. This DT rush isn't going to go anywhere. At best, it'll mop up this harassment. But, and the tank is being protected by mines, and for the moment, Songho can't mine anywhere. Songho's been chased from all his bases, so excellent play by ForGG, and ForGG is pulling way ahead in this game. Just this little bit of harassment. If the thing is, mining time doesn't seem like a lot, but if Songho is behind 30 seconds of mining time, that means he's effectively behind 30 seconds of game time because he hasn't had all those resources that he would have had in that period, and he's going to be that far behind for the rest of the game, and that disadvantage is just going to keep getting compounded. DT, I think, in that shuttle trying to drag those mines, but ForGG picks up his forces in time. So still no mining at that mineral-only secondary. So Songho is still falling economically behind. Meanwhile, we'll see if ForGG is getting his expansion up. There's something at that gas natural. I'm not sure if that's an SCV or a command center or what. He has gotten ComSat down and turrets, so he's going to be very well prepared for DTs. And I think he managed to save all of his units from that harassment. So ForGG, reasonably far ahead, except that he still isn't getting an expansion down. So he needs to cap this lead fairly soon. But more dropships loading up, and he's going to go for more harassment. Very few probes at that mineral only, so he won't be able to do too much damage there. He might, if he has enough, possibly take down the Nexus, which would be a significant blow. But he still does need to get an expansion up, or he's going to be in trouble. Vulture's dropping out, and 2 tanks, I think. The tanks will be able to take care of that cannon before it can do much damage. And meanwhile, the shuttle is pressing up, probably has the DT in it. He's going to drop the DT on those tanks, and that could be bad. The tanks probably should unsiege at this point. DTs are dropping out. Scan goes down, and he's going to... Songho picks up the DTs very quickly. And, SCV's being picked up, too, so he's really committing to holding this position. And the Nexus does go down, so... Songho is getting nowhere. Does take down 1 tank. Well, it takes down 2 tanks. Wow. So Songho breaking through, and he's going to clear up this attack very effectively. But he has lost that Nexus. And we'll see whether ForGG continues with this harassment strategy or actually goes and puts down his expansion. He is bringing in more dropships, so maybe he feels like he's all in at this point. I'm not sure. no command center going down anywhere, and I'm not sure how successful he'll be, because he's lost both of his tanks immediately. Those DTs just eat up tanks like nobody's business. So, observers will be out shortly. I think that's probably an observatory that just went down, if there's not one already. So, I think ForGG is making a mistake by committing so heavily to the strategy. He had a lead after that first attack succeeded, but he hasn't capitalized on it economically, and he's now got a third factory going down, so he's really going, basically just going one base. And, okay, now he has a command center up at the top of his base that he's going to float out. Dropped out vultures there in the back sometime, and he's going to head around for harassment, but I'm sure all those probes will have been pulled. More mines going down. I'm not sure if observers are out